Hi, friend.
Schmeckles.
We back. We took a week off. I almost said a year off. That's it was just a week.
When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, you just take it off.
Seriously. Especially being back at school again. It already feels like I've been in school for like 3 years. So it's always something at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
You had a much better week than me.
I did. I got a Jaguars Hall of Fame game, and I got to go. It was really fun.
Claps for Zach.
I didn't go for the game at all. I left at halftime.
It was not a good game. I watched the whole thing.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
So bad. I watched. We'll get to more.
There was a delay. Stupid delay. I just wanted football. Damn it.
Yeah, but Tony Baselli, first Jaguar ever in the Hall. So I had to do it. It was awesome. We'll talk about it later.
Alrighty. So we're the guys in room 619. We're here to talk fantasy football and betting and daily fantasy. Cannot hold for daily fantasy. It is. I love Dynasty so much. Don't get me wrong, but like DFS, especially like Sunday morning. Like honestly, so we were talking about Mountain Time Zone and why it's the best for football, and I get that because 11 a.m. football is dope. But I kind of would be like stressed to like get my lineup ready. To be honest, like I would kind of.
No, I would. Well, I'm up early all the time, so
that kind of
doesn't matter to me. Yeah. All I need is the inactives, and then I'm usually solid right after that.
No, I feel you. But yeah, I love the Sunday tinker. I can't wait for DFS. But anyway, we're here to talk sports, and we don't really care. We're having fun, and we say what we think. So let's get going. We're gonna do two divisions: AFC East.
Can I stop you real quick?
AFC West, sorry, and NFC.
Did you see my cool teal Jaguars helmet I bought at the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I see it now. It's fancy.
Yeah, isn't that thing sweet? I know.
Very fancy.
All right, go ahead.
All right, but anyway, yeah, we're talking AFC West, our last AFC division, best division of football, and then NFC East. But anyway, we figured we'll start with Zach with Hall of Fame stuff because obviously that's pretty. I've never been to a Hall of Fame game. I've never been to Hall of Fame, so just let them rip. We want to hear what did you like, what did you maybe not like, and what was like maybe something that surprised you. Like, let it rip.
Okay. First things first. They announced the package to like gets you into the game, the enshrinement, and like the two like pregame festivities or whatever. It was like $600, way pricey. But I was like, I can't miss this. Like once in a lifetime opportunity stuff, So I did it. Don't buy any of their bullshit packages. It was such a waste of money. So many people there just bought tickets to the game and the enshrinement on their own for like dirt cheap. So that's your word of the wise. If you're going to Hall of Fame weekend, just buy shit yourself.
Interesting.
The game itself was boring. Like I didn't expect it to be exciting. So, I mean, that's fine. The one thing I like actually paid attention to was Trayvon Walker. And I mean, he sure looked the part. I mean, I know it's preseason week 1, but like, I don't know what else he could have done.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Right. And so I can't wait to see that keep rolling, see where that goes. Friday, went to the Hall of Fame itself. I met a couple other Jags fans when I got there, and I ended up hanging out with them all weekend. It took us 3 hours to get through the hall. It was so cool. I mean, if you love the game of football like we do, it was just so cool. That's it. They did such a cool job of giving you the history of football, but also like really paying homage to what's happening right now in the league. That's cool. I really appreciated that.
Was there stuff for like every team, so like every fan would go there and at least be like, oh, okay, I get that. Like I know you sent me some Bears stuff, of course, but totally. Bears are obviously like super historical, so MBD.
Every team represented. I mean, there's just so much stuff. Every Super Bowl ring is there. I got to stand like right next to this year's Lombardi is in there. Like, the
That's
next
cool.
one that's given out.
Mm-hmm.
They had this like theater experience thing that was like a movie theater almost. I mean, it was way smaller, but it was a giant screen, and it like did like almost like a Hard Knock style kind of like training camp montage. I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
then the whole theater like spun around and 180, and on the other big screen was like an NFL Films like 10-minute this past Super Bowl film.
Bum, bum, bum,
Yeah, like
bum, 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 bum. Chills.
yeah, exactly. Like we left there, and I looked at the one guy. I was like, I'm fucking jacked for football. Like
Ready to run
it
through
was
the wall.
exactly like getting all the mic'd up and like the music and the narrator and
Mhm.
just so loud and just in your face that I'm just
That's
like,
dope.
hell yes.
Yeah, Louisville Slugger Museum has a little bit like that, like a movie theater kind of experience. But I bet it's so much cooler just being NFL, just because like it's just such a more intense sport and
Right.
everything. And plus, like we just like we grew up baseball #1 fans, but it's so clearly football. It's not
Oh,
even
it's not
close
even
anymore.
close.
Yeah. I know I could speak for you on that one. I didn't have to ask.
Yeah.
But that's cool, dude.
It's just I was blown away by the hall, to be honest. I was like expecting it to be fine, like, but like I left and I was like, damn, that was really awesome. Like,
Would you go again?
yes.
Okay.
I would go to the hall again. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't
Just check that
have
out.
any interest in going to the game if the Jags aren't playing, or I don't know about probably not enshrinement unless there was a Jaguar going in.
Yeah.
Because even enshrinement like wasn't like the most crazy atmosphere. The place was like half full.
But
I mean,
Stugotz,
don't get me wrong,
Tony Khan.
he was. Watching Tony Baselli's speech was really like it was really emotional. It was really cool.
Yeah, he's a good
It
guy.
was a moment I'll never forget. Like when he yelled Duval and we yelled it back. Fuck yes. Um, so yeah, it was a great weekend. If
Awesome.
someone on your team's going in the hall, highly recommend it because, like I said, just to like take the weekend to just be all about football as we're getting close to the season and like it
Nerd
was
out.
awesome, right? Such a cool ramp up.
Yeah, the Bears were in the Hall of Fame game a few years recently. I can't remember. It was 2, 3, something like that. And that, I didn't even think about it, but that would have been cool. But also, no Bears are going into the Hall. I think the double, was cool. Having
right,
Baselli, the first ever, and then also Jags playing. And you didn't get
yeah,
to see Larry play, but you got to see him stand there and look majestic. So that's
looking at just beautiful as fuck.
I know.
And impress Chris Sims.
He could be like he can't be like give me a couple inches. I mean, just a little bit.
Did you listen to Chris Sims talk about like his reason he switched over on his opinion? I mean, of course I did. The one thing that did make me laugh, like he's like, dude, have you ever seen his neck? Chris Sims, he's like, he's got a huge neck. He's like, this guy's like Takeo Spikes of quarterbacks. He does have a pretty dang big neck.
That's funny. I just like that he didn't even play a game. He was just seeing him throw on practice. I'm like,
like his reasoning, I get his reasoning because he's saying like a lot of scouts would say last year when Larry would warm up, you would see 10 throws and 7 different mechanics come out. And Chris Sims said warming up for that game, it was 10 throws, 1 mechanic. And he said the ball was coming. Even Larry has said that he feels his arm is stronger.
He worked in the lab.
He definitely worked in the lab. So, I mean, I get what Chris Sims is saying about all that, but to completely 180 your tune on a player because of that is
without any gameplay is funny.
Right.
All
yeah.
right. That's funny.
Okay, moving on.
All right, Sax man. All right. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Talking media heads, they're gonna gas bag. So we got 2 divisions.
Gonna gas bag.
One's the best division of football, AFC West. One is a dumpster fire that we will see in prime time at least every like twice a month. So just accept that.
So stupid.
Where do we want to start?
Let's just do the NFC East.
Yeah, let's take
this
our
out of the way.
medicine. Right. All right. That was 100% what I was thinking. Like, I was just like, I cannot wait to talk to AFC West. I have like, there's like a couple players I really like NFC East, but for the most part, that division's hot garbage. All right, so we're gonna start with the highest finisher that might surprise. So basically, like my sleeper, which I know is a boring term, but like what it is. These are players that win drafts, right?
I'll say it's important because finding a guy who outperforms his draft capital by a lot is great.
All right, so we're going with Miles Sanders. Obviously, running back depth is huge, and kind of the strategy I've been doing in redrafts and best balls is loading up on wide receiver early, and then kind of getting like I don't want to call it zero RB because I do like it's probably more anchor RB. I like taking an RB early, and then I like just peltering and just taking a bunch of running backs that you never know.
Right.
Miles Sanders, he's RB 27 in ADP. He's going 7-12, so we're talking maybe flex spot. Usually your RB3, if you're not, I mean, it could be RB2, but you know what I'm saying? Elite yards per carry, top 15 each of his 3 years. So like when he gets touches, he produces. Historically unlucky TD luck. Historically unlucky.
Yes.
Especially for a team who scores. And especially for a team that scores as many rushing TDs as Phillies did. They were first in the NFL. And he got 0. Yeah, first in the NFL, he got 0.
Wild.
Like, he could easily score 6 or 7, and that wouldn't even be, like, random. That would just be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, he got a ton of inside the 10-yard carries. He just didn't, produce as well as he could have done. It's like, Mike Clay has that OTD, like that expected, touchdowns based on your usage and stuff. He was like, he should have scored over 5 touchdowns last year. He just, it just happened how it happened. So I think the offense is going to be a lot better. More on that later. And I think RB 27. I think that's like his floor. Like I think he's like if he was RB 30 and you took him at RB 27, you'd be fine. But if he was like RB like 18, you wouldn't be shocked. That's like a couple extra touchdowns, and all of a sudden that's a solid RB 2 that you're getting.
Where he's going, I think that's a really good point about being his floor. I mean, you're talking, 30th. I mean, shit. I mean, I don't have the list of like last year who finished 30th, but I can't imagine it's super impressive.
No, yeah, it's just, I mean, that, and you need RB depth because they always get banged up. So
right, and he's still at the top of his depth chart, regardless. Like,
I mean, clearly, if you look at the guys behind him, like I think Kenneth Gainwell is a good player, but he's also like 175 pounds. Like,
right, he's getting some hype, and I like him too, but he'll never be more than just a like
Naheem Hines.
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
But he has a running quarterback that doesn't dump off. That's the difference there.
Right.
But yeah, I think he's a good player, and I think RB 27, like I said, I think that's more of his floor, and that's what you're kind of looking for. You're looking for guys that could beat that draft slot, and if you do that consistently, you're gonna be in good shape. My next one is a little spicy. You ready for this?
Well, hold on. Mine would be Jahan Dotson. I don't know what his draft is.
He's late.
His ADP is, but that's who mine would be in this division. Easy.
I almost picked him for the late best ball pick. I'll look that up right now. But why do you like Dotson? Because I like Dotson too.
Well, I mean, he was one of my picks in my props. I loved him in college. I love he can run routes. He's got great yak. He's got great catch radius. I really like how sometimes you and I think about the game where like we piece together puzzles and try and project forward. Where like I say, hey, Carson Wentz is pretty damn inaccurate. And then I look at some guy they brought in who has way above average skills at catch radius, and I say, whoa, this guy might be able to buy himself a handful of receptions someone else might not have. So
he's QB friendly.
Right. So that's why I like him. And that's
you ready for this?
He's gonna way outperform whatever you're about to tell me.
Wide receiver what? Take a guess.
This is a half joke, but also half not. 69.
I knew you were gonna say 69. I knew you were, and I was like, damn it, he's gonna get lucky. It's 63.
Because as soon as I was about to blurt it out, and then all of a sudden I was like, that's actually probably pretty close.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, wide receiver 63. So a total dart throw again, depth piece. Hey, it happens. It doesn't. You never know. But I mean, I agree. I think he's a great late best ball option. He wasn't my pick, but I think he's a very good one.
If he finishes the season as a wide receiver 3 or 4, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. But his teammate is who I'm picking for the lowest finish in the Met Surprise, and it's Terry McLaurin. He's going wide receiver 18, which isn't ridiculous. Pick 404. That's where I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like the player a lot. I think he's very good when I watch him play. He's one of my draft misses that I liked him, but I just was like, Washington, blah, blah, blah. Should have trusted his talent. He's never been top 20 wide receiver for one reason or another. I mean, tell me QB play, tell me injuries, whatever. End of the day, 3 years.
It still hasn't happened. Yeah.
So you can keep drafting him that early. I'm going to take guys like Hollywood Brown, Breece Hall, Deontay, Lamar, Cooks, Bateman, not to mention guys like a little bit like Mooney and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, you can take that guy and hope that he puts it together and stays healthy and once is the best QB ever. Well, QB that he's had ever. And you know what I mean? Like, you can hope that the stars align. And maybe you're right. I just, at that price, I would look elsewhere. That's what I'm saying. I like
I would say I agree. I mean, if you are having to project a lot into Scary Terry to get him into his draft range, and every guy you named around him is a safer play.
And like, so
it's too early to be taking that kind of gambles.
Yeah, I mean, this is drafting him at his ceiling, which we've talked about with like ETN. You are drafting him at his ceiling right now. So if you are, just be willing to have egg on your face about it.
Right.
Think about like Logan Thomas hurt last year. Curtis Samuel hurt all year last year. Now the add in Dotson too. And maybe you're like, those two guys are going to get hurt again, and Dotson's a rookie. Okay. But you still got McKissick there. Like,
well, you talk about drafting guys at their ceiling. Other guys people are drafting at their ceiling are, and there's much better argument behind those guys.
No, I'm with you.
Much more substantial reasoning.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think we're both on the same page where he's a good player. It's just too rich for our blood. I think that's better. This was a hard one to come up with, like an actual elite guy that I didn't like. The most of the elite guys in this division, I guess I could have gone like Zeke, spoiler alert, but he's not going crazy high anymore. He's actually going at a reasonable price if you like Zeke still. So speaking of backup running back I want to have, in quotation marks, Tony Pollard, baby.
Ain't no backup.
Yeah, he's RB26, so going one spot in front of Miles Sanders, literally 7-11, one spot in front of him. So I've ran into this position a lot in best ball drafts where I'm like, shit, because I really like both.
I got him in the yards per best ball.
Yeah, I really like Pollard. Here's my hot take: he's outscoring Zeke this year.
Oh, that's a big one.
I know. I said it back in like January, kind of shooting the shit with my boy Ross, and then I'm like, you know what? I traded for him in my 2 primary leagues that I didn't have him in. I was like, I'm buying.
So yeah, there you go. Let's go.
I gave up a 22, like 204, kind of early-ish second, and a future third in both leagues. I got the same deal for him. I'm happy with it. I know he's like 25. People are like, by the time Zeke's done, Pollard's gonna be done too. Not if it happens this year. Like, you watch Zeke the last 2 years. Everyone wants to say last year was hurt. It's the last 2 years he hasn't been good. Like, and also, you sold him right at the perfect time, right after his first not Zeke year.
Yes, correct.
Not this offseason, the previous one.
Because he was already approaching his cliff age,
and he's had so much work.
Right, and I saw one season where he clearly started to struggle with the workload and the injuries, and it happened to line up with my team needing to blow up. Well, I mean, I could have pushed it another year or two. I really could have, but 100%. I think I'm better off for blowing it when I did. That's what she said.
Hey-oh!
Hey!
But yeah, so he's so much more explosive than Zeke at this point in their careers. He's a weapon in the passing game, like straight up, like they're talking about put him in the slot and stuff like that. Like, I think you're going to see plays where him and Zeke both out there because think about the Cowboys' weapons. You got CD,
mm-hmm.
and then you got like a bunch of guys you're hoping for. Dalton Schultz,
right.
You're hoping he's so good. You got your RBs and Zeke and Pollard, and then you got like Tolbert, James Washington's hurt.
I'll say they're getting banged up at receiver.
Like we're talking like guys like Sutton Houston. I know I added him a couple Dynasty leagues. Just like maybe something happens there. I don't know. You know,
I think I just picked up Simi Fihoko the other day because if you know it doesn't show in camp, I'll just cut his ass. But like, yeah, that's where we're at.
Like so, I mean, I really think they like, and I love CD to death. We both do. CD's amazing. He's not explosive though. Like that's not his.
No.
He's like a 4.55 guy. Like Pollard is legit game-changing explosive. And so I think they're going to try to find ways to get him the ball, much like an ETN. So I like Pollard a lot. And yeah, I think he's a standalone flex value. I think if he's your RB3, that's awesome. You can play him flex a lot like a Kareem Hunt. And then if Zeke banked up for a week or two or, you know, is really ineffective, like maybe that – I don't think Zeke's ever going to go away. But, like, Pollard could easily, in my opinion, outscore him because I just think he's gonna hit home runs where Zeke's gonna hit singles.
I think that Kareem Hunt comparison is good. I like that.
All right. That's all I got for that. All right. Late best ball guy. Like I said, Dotson, he was on my list. I went with that boy mostly so I could throw some shade. I went with Wandale Robinson. Short game. Right. Love him to death. Wide receiver 74.
Wow.
Well, 11 wide receivers later than Dotson. 14-12. So 3.5 rounds later than Dotson. That was the big
thing. All right. Value. You ready for a prediction? He is going to be a garbage time hero this year.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that. Definitely. Like 4 or 5 catches in the fourth quarter for 40 yards.
Yep.
Let's go.
I already know it. Like week 9 and on, we're going to be hammering the shit out of him in DFS. I'm already calling. That's exactly
what I was saying. Bare minimum pricing. He'll get his 9 points. That's your 3 times up. Go spend up.
You sit there and like he's got like 2 catches for 13 yards into the third, and you're like, you're the fucking worst. I hate you. And then all of a sudden he ends the game with 6 for 79 and a touchdown. You're like, okay.
But yeah, day 2 capital is like what you want with wide receivers. Like that's running backs, it doesn't really matter. But wide receivers, you want day 1, day 2 capital. Like the statistics are wild.
And it is. I remember seeing that. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah, I was extremely shocked by that.
And he was picked 43.
Yeah,
like, top 50 on top of that is special. All right. And this is a new coaching staff.
I'll say this is clearly a guy Dable loves, so clearly he's going to get featured.
So everyone, you know, he was electric in the SEC. I know he went to Kentucky. I always mix up them in Memphis, but anyway, he went to Kentucky.
I mean, I don't blame you. Their states border each other, and they're both blue and white.
I know, man. But yeah, just get him the ball and let it happen. We've been talking about this. I'm clearly a fan of somebody that get him the ball in space and make it happen. I think that's where the NFL is going because tackling isn't what it used to be. If you watched Hard Knocks, you heard Man Campbell going on about how pursuit and tackle, and he's like, we can't get good at tackling if we don't practice it. And the NFL doesn't practice it anymore because of the players' union. That's what they fought for, and that's what they got is limited pads, limited days and pads. Anyway, I don't trust Tony.
I need to watch that this year.
Oh, it's so good.
I already saw the clips, and I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Oh my god, it's so good. I'm all in. I'll be live tweeting it. I loved it.
Who was it last year?
It was Cleveland was a couple years ago.
Was it the Cardinals?
I don't think so, because Cardinals are this year in the live season. Colts are live season. God, you Google it while I
okay.
All right. I don't trust Tony. I don't think he's any good. I think he's like doesn't care about football, and I think that he gets banged up, and I think he's just like Devin Hester. Like I love Devin Hester, but like I think he's just
it's the Cowboys because
Cowboy.
Aiden Diggs.
And I remember the drone shot. That was sick.
Yeah. Anyways,
good call. And yeah, that was a good one. I did like that one, but this one looks better than maybe any Hard Knocks I've ever seen. I barely trust Galladay, and that's only because his ADP is so fucking low that like he scored like 14 touchdowns one year, so like clearly he can be that guy. And then honestly, I went back and forth with someone about Saquon. I miss me with Saquon too. Like this is a new coaching staff. They're not committed to him. People are like, would you be surprised if Saquon was RB1? Yeah, I would be surprised. Are you kidding me?
Okay, that is I really like him.
I got like 9 guys I like better than him this year.
I just traded for him in a dynasty because I needed another running back and I had ammo. I was like, fuck it, let's get Saquon. I was willing to gamble on, him being healthy, and it's rare in the league now to have a guy in a backfield who is dominated that much. So, dominate the touches. So I was like, yeah, let's give it a whirl. I'm excited to see him this year, but I think
now see
if he finishes an RB1, yeah,
that's different. If they said, would you be surprised if he's top 12 at his position? I would be like, absolutely not.
I would say
like he's top 5. No, I would not be surprised if he's top 5. But number 1, miss me.
Damn it. I would say his ceiling to me is probably top 5.
Like maybe if everything goes right. Like,
yeah.
But you're happy if he's an RB1. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for what I did to get him in my league, absolutely, yeah.
Right. So that was just my thing. I just feel like people are assuming that he's getting like his rookie usage, right? Literally, he was like Najee rookie usage,
right? Or like CMC shit.
That rarely happens, and like he's a home run hitter, 100%. But like he's just like, all right, we're going under the weeds. We don't need to talk about Saquon. But anyway, I don't think he's going to catch as much as they think. I think it's a new offense. They didn't use running backs in Buffalo. Not saying they're not going to use them here. I'm just saying like Dabble has shown like he doesn't have to be reliant on running backs. I would rather trust the quick motion offense stuff that he likes and getting Jones on the move and everything like that.
I know that people think Kadarius Toney's already dead, but like you can't deny the athleticism. And with a coach like Dable, I think with him and Robinson, he's going to have a lot of fun scheming those guys up. So I don't think it is going to be all Saquon show like people think.
We're just not on the same page with Giants because I don't like Tony. I think he's like an and one player out there. Like he's just like people say that about Garrett Wilson. No, Tony's the and one player. He's literally just out there trying to break people's ankles. He never broke out until he had Kyle Pitts, demigod, opening up everything for him. Like I just think I know he had some insane gains. We also had like 14, 15 targets to get those insane games. And I don't think that's going to happen in this offense.
I'm not saying I think he's going to be great. I'm just saying with like you cannot deny his pure athleticism. So with that combined with them having Wandale, I think Dable's going to have a lot of fun scheming with the two of them.
Can you deny his rap? Can you deny his rap skills?
I can't attest to them, but I'm going to deny them. Yes.
I'm going to deny them on principle.
Yeah.
Athletes shouldn't be rappers. Rappers shouldn't be athletes.
Yeah. And so, oh man, you got me sidetracked there.
No, but I get what you're saying. That
so like
they have a lot of options and they can be really creative.
And I'm agreeing with you in the sense that I don't think it's just like, hey, let's just fucking force feed Saquon every time.
I agree there too.
Plus, because if you add in
any dimes either, like I just don't trust that offense at all.
No.
Besides,
so I'll say literally the only piece I'm interested this year is Saquon. And I think his ADP is fair. Like, what?
I said and Wandale.
Well, I do like Wandale.
I know.
I don't know.
It's so late. Like, can you really argue? Like, no, I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 74. I think he's going to be wide receiver 84. Like,
he's going to be 56.
Like, who gives a like, I mean, at that point, like, it's all outside. You know, it's like, yeah, if he's wide receiver 112, I won't consider this a failure of a pick. Like, it's all upside at this point. You're just trying to hope. But I get what you're saying. I do think, especially in Dynasty, this is like a rare buy low opportunity on a guy of his caliber.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite Dynasty player. Speaking of Dynasty, Zach, you want to take a guess from this division? I don't think it's very hard to guess.
Oh, CD Mixtape Lamb.
Oh, I guess well, it was hard to guess. That's not my guy. It was the guy that we were just offending, AJ Brown, baby.
Oh my God.
You know that's my guy.
No, I can't. 100% right over my head because CD hit me first.
And I love CD. I do. I had him wide receiver 1 when everyone else wanted to have Judy. Missed me with that again. More on him later. AJB though, that's my guy. So I was just looking through his stats because I know he's like crazy efficient and like he just never really had the targets, whatever, because that offense and a little bit him with injury, which I think is fair. He's been banged up. 15 out of 35 games, he scored over 20 points when he's played at least 60% of the snaps, which for a wide receiver of his caliber, like 60%, most of the times he's like close to 90 or plus. You know what I mean?
It's essentially just saying like, except for the games he went out there and sprained his ankle in the first quarter.
Basically. So 15 out of 35. So we're talking, about half. He's going over 20. Like if you get 20 from a wide receiver, like that's a game-winning week. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're looking for, right?
Right.
He's never had 107 targets in the season.
Wow.
For comparison, Mooney had, I think, 140 last year.
He was on pace this year, but still, it didn't happen.
Anyway,
we were talking about some AJB in our yards per group chat, and one thing I said about him was I really like that he has proven production in a crap situation for a wide receiver.
He's the poster boy for talent over situation. Right.
So the fact that people say, oh, he's moving to the Eagles and he's got Jalen Hurts, I'm like, well, that doesn't mean shit to me because he's already proven that despite having an average to above average at best quarterback, he can still eat. The dude's just a straight dog.
Tannehill sucks. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, right. And like when he's clicking, when that offense is clicking perfectly, he's like above average at best. And
I think AJB made that offense. Everyone wants to credit Henry. Wide receivers are the ones that are dictating terms more than running backs. 100%.
That's what they're going to pay. It's 2022, yeah.
But he's arguably the most efficient wide receiver the last 3 years. Uber talented. Google him shirtless and tell me that's not Adonis physique. Like, how is he the same species as me?
He's not.
Dual sport athlete. He got drafted in the majors coming out of high school, even though everyone knew he was going to play football. That was his first love. He just got paid, and they gave him a first-round pick. Like, gave up a first-round pick to get him.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you don't think that he's going to have at minimum what he got target-wise at Tennessee. And overall, I think the offense is just going to be way better. The line's better than Tennessee's. Hurts is at worst as good as Tannehill, in my opinion.
If I were starting a franchise, I would pick Hurts 10 times out of 10.
Even if you had to win this year, like if you was just like a
yes,
right, yeah. Like they're equally as good plus running upside, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's got Devontae Smith and Goddard, like quality guys around him. And so I guess you could say like maybe he's not going to get fed, but I still think like AJB compared to Devontae Smith or Goddard, like it's not close. Like AJB, if he's not getting over 25% of the targets, like they're doing something wrong.
I'll say you're doing it wrong. Yeah, his talent pops every single time he's on the field. It's undeniable. It's insane.
My last comment was watch defenders trying to tackle him.
Yeah.
I can just think of this touchdown he had against the Colts where he's like, it was like not even a deep cross. It was like a shallow cross. And he just like stiff arms some guy. And then some other guy has the angle and he just like bodies him and then just runs the rest of the way down the sideline. Because he's just more.
I already know exactly. It was like way long. Yeah, I already know.
Yeah, he's just a fucking alpha.
And I've talked about it.
I'll sign up about it.
I've talked about it on here before. I just call it the AJ Brown over. and they do it like a yard or two past the sticks. They send him up right past the sticks, then literally just run him straight across the field. Just put the ball in his hands. That's it.
He's bigger. I mean, he's big. He's bigger than a lot of running backs. Like he's legit 6'1", 230. Like everyone wants to talk about how huge DK is, and I feel like people don't talk how huge HAB is when they're like basically the same body type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be his best year. I bought him in my Dynasty league that is my home league that I'm most proud of, that I probably will write an article about at some point because I'm just so with it. But yeah, AJB, I love you to death. Wide receiver 1 season. Oh, I said it.
Let's go.
All right. Now let's get to the one division. Double hot take in that division.
I've got there's 2 ways to look at the AFC West for me, right?
Okay, let me hear it.
The first one is, we could sit here and talk all goddamn night about this. Yeah. The second is rip up your fucking notes. Who knows what's about to happen? Buckle up.
Like, have you ever? I know this is like a spur of the moment question that like is really hard to answer spur of the moment. But can you ever remember a division that, like, literally, if any team won it, you would be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense?
No, because the closest are some of these NFC West ones we've seen recently.
Or, like, the NFC East ones that blow.
I was just about
to say these ones are all going to be good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Derek Carr being the worst QB in the division? That's trash. He'd be the best QB either one of us has ever had. Like, I know Fields, Larry are growing, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, either one of us would be like, that's our goat.
Derek Carr would be the greatest quarterback in Jaguars franchise history.
Yeah, the Bears too, and we've been around since like 1900.
God damn it.
I mean, he's a really good player. Speaking of Derek Carr.
Yeah.
That is my highest finisher that will surprise. And he's going pretty high, but I love me some Derek Carr. So, QB 13. But people are waiting in 1 QB. Round 9, pick 11. So you can literally line up your whole offense and a bench spot and then grab Derek Carr.
Okay, I like that thought.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a cool plan for redraft because you're right. I mean, in a 1 QB, it's obviously not as important. So if you can hit your entire roster or starting roster and then peg in him, yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. So he was QB 13 last year. Since last year, he's added Devontae Adams, hashtag good at football. Best wide receiver in football. Waller was hurt half the year and gimpy when he was in there. He didn't have Josh McDaniels, who is widely considered one of the best offensive coordinators and has like succeeded in many different types of schemes.
Right.
And he's going to play a gauntlet in the AFC. Obviously, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos twice. So that's 6 of the games. The rest of the AFC is a juggernaut. Like, I just feel like he's going to pass all day long. I know he doesn't run, and that's a huge thing. He's not going to run at all. But, like, he was until, I think, like, week 12 or something like that. Like, it was 2/3 through the season. He was leading the NFL in passing yards. And then he only had,
really?
And he only had, like, for the whole season, like, 23 passing touchdowns.
Wow.
Like, you would think, right? Just, like, the way that would add up. He probably got unlucky a little bit. But, yeah, so Brady and Dak are going 20 picks earlier than him. I just feel like he's right there. Like, I think he's a back-end QB1, so maybe he finishes like QB 11 or QB 12. And so, like, is that a big difference between QB 13? Not really. But the fact that where he's going, I think it's just so clutch for how he can set up the rest of your team.
Right, because instead of taking Dak 20 picks earlier, maybe you lock up your wide receiver 3.
Or I'm talking, this is going to be like wide receiver 4, maybe your tight end, or maybe your running back 3. Like, we're talking bench spots before you pick Derek Carr.
Yeah, so like maybe, you're just adding all this depth into your squad and rather than sacrificing potential. Yeah, and if right, the difference, people would say, the difference isn't that much. Exactly, so fucking wait.
Yeah, so grab an actual wide receiver or an actual running back that you could freaking play and like kill it with that make a difference between like
let's just say like Tony Pollard and Darrell Williams. Like, I don't know. I just made some shit up, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I totally just think like the where he's going makes it so clutch, and then you're never going to be disappointed in him. You know what I mean? Like I just think
right.
Like you're going for like you can get Lockett in the ninth round, and then like a round earlier is like I'm trying to look at someone on the fly, so this is hard. Like Brandon Ayuk. So it's like that could be the difference. And like I know a lot of people are really in on Ayuk this year or something like that. But anyway, I love him. I think he's gonna kill it. I think he'll absolutely be a QB1, and you got nothing to worry about. You can set the rest of your team very, very exactly how you want to. Lowest finisher. Mentioned this already. Jerry Judy.
Ooh, I like it.
Wide receiver 23, pick 407.
That's insane.
So remember,
he's going ahead of Sutton, isn't he?
Oh no, my God. I don't think.
Okay, good.
Sutton.
Okay,
but remember,
good.
Do you remember? What's his face? McLaurin is going early fourth, 404. Mm-hmm. So barely even in front of him. It's just ridiculous. I just don't think he's ever been that guy, and I don't think he's ever going to be that guy. I think he's just super overrated.
I think so too. I mean, he is clearly. I mean, Bama's offense is clearly going to make whoever shine, especially when you're have premier talent at quarterback like they have the last handful of years.
All right, so I looked it up, so I got distracted there. Sutton's going 10 picks earlier, wide receiver.
Okay, good.
16. So, but anyway, that was one of my points. I think Sutton, I just put the greater than sign a bunch of times afterwards.
Way better.
I think he's just like flat out better. I don't get hype around Judy. I get he's fast. I get he can break ankles, but again, it was kind of like the Ruggs thing. Like he killed it against like scrub competition at Alabama. You should dominate at Alabama versus anybody.
Jerry Judy is like one of those like workout warriors where he puts the clips on, his feet like go bingo, and
he looks great in shorts.
Right, and then you get him on the field, and I get it. They've had shit for quarterbacks, but when your game and your game is built around route running and separation, that should be helping your shitty quarterback. So like we should have seen some of it, I think, like more by now.
Two things. One, it's like that X-ray where you have the dog in it. He does not have that dog in it.
No.
He has gator arms. He doesn't want that contact. He doesn't win contested catches. Anyway, So Sutton versus Judy, right? Both have done with shitty quarterbacks, right? Neither one of them had a good one until now. So obviously with Sutton's injury, their games are, and he has an extra year, the games are a little bit off. But anyway, 26 games for Judy. He's had over 12 points of PPR 5 times.
5 times in PPR.
Full PPR for like
that's his game. That's his game.
He should catch a bunch of passes, right? 5 out of 26. We're talking less than 20%. Okay, wow. So he's like killing you most weeks. And 12's not even like good bar at all. Like that's weak shit.
No, right. And for where you're getting drafted at.
So the last 3 years, Sutton has 30 games eligible. He's done it 11 times. So despite only 4 more games, he's done it 6 more times. So clearly, we're talking like over a third of the time versus under a fifth of the time. Right. So a lot of those games were over 20, where Judy almost was never over 20. But it's just like, I just don't get the hype. I don't get how people are like, oh, I don't know, Judy or Sutton. I'm like, how do you not know?
I know, like one of these dudes, his knack in his NFL career so far has been able to go up and make a play on a defender. And like, the other one can't shake one.
It's just, I feel like people just want him to be really good. And so they're just hoping that he is. And I just don't think he is. But anyway, that's my lowest one. The other one I considered was Keem Allen, wide receiver 13, round 305. I like Keem Allen a lot. I think he's really good. I just think he's overvalued. And like, maybe I'm wrong because like I've known like a bunch like Devontae Adams and like and Justin Jefferson. I think another wide receiver too. All had him as like top 3 in the NFL right now. But I just feel like wide receiver 13 is aggressive. That's just a hard position to get that high up. And like I get Herbert and everything. I just at that spot, I'm not looking at Allen. He's old. He's never
Right.
been a step like he's never been an athletic guy. So like him losing a step is huge.
Right. His game has always been like shifty route running and just being all reliable. And
Volume.
I think he's gonna keep doing that. Yeah. And volume was his biggest thing is he'd go out there and Keenan Allen got 16 targets again. Like
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I went Judy. I think that's a better pick, but Allen also just kind of worries me. I don't think he'll lose because you pick him. I just feel like you might look back like shit. I took Allen when I could have gotten blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
Backup RB I want. This was a hard one. I went with Isaiah Spiller. RB 40, pick 1302. So going hella late. He fits my strategy in best ball especially, but just in redraft, I'm gonna be drafting a bunch of running backs that like if something happens, they're gonna kill it and they could be elite.
Right.
13th round, so you're talking deep bench. He had great production in the SEC, over 1K yards every year. He can catch. He's got elite upside if Eckler were to miss, or if they're trying to change his role and keep him preserved because he got banged up last year. And like I think Eckler is 26 or 27. So again, they could be looking to trying to, keep him preserved and everything. And I think it was like I think they took Spiller because it was like, why is this guy still here?
Yes.
The Chargers. And so like I feel like he could easily be someone that they're looking to kind of, lessen the load on Eckler because they know how important it is and they're trying to win a Super Bowl this year.
Right. And they're going to need him down the stretch.
Yeah.
I think
the only reason he fell, he had really poor athletic testing score.
Yeah. His combine was awful.
Right. And he played in the SEC and he didn't look unathletic. I don't think he
is so it's like, yeah, for me on a player like that, like I'll trust the film.
Yeah, our friend Adam took him in the pick 112, so obviously he was the winner, won our belt. And honestly, I wouldn't have taken that early, but I don't think it was a bad pick. Like I think especially dynasty wise, like
right,
I think he's just trusting that's a good player. I want good players, so I think he's a good player. So you can't go wrong taking good players. Late best
John Madden.
Great players make great players. Great. Bam. Tough acting. Gerald Everett, late best ball player. Tight end, 17. So easily late pick. 1303 pick. So one pick after Isaiah Spiller. That's kind of crazy for teammates. Elite opportunity, right? Like
absolutely.
Especially if I'm someone thinking that I think Keenan Allen maybe takes a step back. Like maybe it's Everett that kind of grabs some of those underneath, throws, safety blanket throws. You know what I mean?
The one thing I'll say about him, and I could be wrong. Hold on, start talking and I'm gonna look something.
All right, but yeah. So the reason why I like him, one, you're talking tight end 17, like you're just going dart throws. But last year, 7 out of 15 games over 10 points, which I know I criticized Judy for not scoring over 12. But one, he did over 10, 7 out of 15. And then it's a tight end, not a wide receiver. Right. And
we're talking a dart throw tight end.
We're talking 9 rounds. Yeah, 9 rounds later. And he's scoring like comparably.
On a team where he was part of a 2 tight end team. They used both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was going to say is, and I just looked it up, one thing that gives me a little concern for him, and not enough to think he's not a good value here, but when I think of that offense, I feel like I saw a lot of jump balls to Jared Cook and contested stuff to Jared Cook because he's a fucking quant at that. And I looked it up. Gerald Everett's only 6'3". Like athleticism is his game. So I'll be interested to see how they play that because my first thought was like, damn, they use Jared Cook a lot. So this is going to be a home run. Well, they're going to have to figure out how to use him because you can't just plug and play throwing jump balls to the back of the end zone with Gerald Everett. Like that's going to be Mike Williams, obviously. But
right. Yeah.
It's not a total plug and play how Cook got used.
Low key, Chargers, if there was NFL pickup team, wouldn't be bad. You got Herbert like 6'6". You got Allen 6'2". Williams, I think 6'3", 6'4". You know, Everett 6'3". Interesting. Atlanta wins that game though. Their team is huge.
Yeah. And I bet you Felipe Franks is real big too.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder, elite athlete. No way.
Right.
I bet he could easily like windmill dunk on pitches.
You got Drake London and Pitts. Cordero Patterson.
Ryan Edwards is 6'3". Auden Tate is 6'5".
Dude, I bet you Cordero Patterson could fucking ball.
I mean, now he's like 31. I bet he's like nasty. You know what I mean?
He would be like the AI out there, just making people look stupid.
You don't want that smoke. No. All right, last one. Favorite Dynasty player. I'm gonna give you a second chance, Zach. I'm putting you on the spot again. Who's my favorite Dynasty player? It should be obvious.
Oh, Javonte.
I mean, close. I couldn't wait to talk about him. I love Javonte Williams. Took him. I literally picked him over Najee last year. I don't give a shit. He's better. Missed me with Najee. Fade of the year. The one week he got over 60% of the snaps. He was RB1 in the season of the week. RB1, 30 points. Like, give him a freaking ball, man. It was legit 50-50 snap. Like, literally, they had the same number of touches, him and Mel Gordon last year. That's shitty
wild.
RB17. If this shifts to even close to 65-35, which I know I've already talked about this, they signed him, like, in the 11th hour almost. You know what I mean? Like, they gave him a $2.5 million one-year deal, Mel Gordon. Like, this is 100% a luxury pick that they brought him in. I think it's Javonte, new staff. Offense should be way better. He scored 22 TDs his last year in college. So he's an absolute TD threat.
We've got a real passing game to open up a box.
And did you see the news today about Mel Gordon?
No.
Did not practice because of a foot injury.
Uh-oh.
I don't wish for injury, but I do wish for Javonte Williams to get a lot of touches.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an asshole. I'll accept it. I hope straight up, even if both are healthy, I think it's absolutely foolish not to feature Javonte Williams. Like, he's just a really, really good player, and he's shown. Give him a chance, and he will dominate. Watch him versus Chiefs. Watch him versus Dallas.
You're not wrong.
Like, he is just a beast. But yeah, I love Javonte. I know
Feed the man.
He's very polarized, and people are very, very either hot or cold on him. I'm looking forward to being right and watching everyone else try to fix their takes later on.
Ooh.
He's a Guan.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of Guans, we got Little League World Series.
I'm going to find the name.
Remember when that was a thing? Little League World Series? It was Oklahoma and I think West Texas. Definitely Oklahoma. And then like West or East something. But anyway, so it was a really cool clip. I saw it going around the other day. So kid is lined up and righty, he's at the bat, domed. Right in the head, fastball, right to the head, which I know they're Little League, so it's not like it's 95 or anything. But still, if you've ever played baseball and like just playing catch and a ball bounces and hits you in the knee, like that shit hurts so bad. To take one in the dome that's like actually from a good like player who's throwing like at least 60 plus, I can't even imagine how much that would hurt.
Isaiah Jarvis was the batter.
Yeah, you're the man, Isaiah. So anyway, he takes it to the dome. He's down for a while. He's kind of writhing in pain. Gets up, runs to first, blah, blah, blah. He's sitting there chilling, and the camera's just on him, right? And then all of a sudden, he does the time, and he walks over to the pitcher's mound, and the pitcher is just like, you could tell he feels horrible. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He's so sad.
Just like, you just feel for that kid in that moment.
Right.
Like,
he wasn't trying to do that. The ball got away from him. It was right-handed pitcher. The ball just got away and drifted up and in. And he's like literally like shaking. He's so sad. And the kid like taps him on the shoulder, and that doesn't the batter taps the pitcher on the shoulder, and that's not really helping. And so then the batter gives him a hug, and then like the coach comes out for the pitcher. He's like, "It's all right, And he just feels so bad for the pitcher, who clearly is like feeling awful. But like, how great in the moment, like his head has to be throbbing.
Oh, right.
Like, because that was kind of under the helmet.
It looked it was like it almost like it caught the lip of the helmet perfectly where it knocked it off, but I'm still sure it like ricocheted and hit him and hurt pretty damn bad. Like I'm not discounting it. I think he might have gotten a little lucky with how it hit, but it still probably hurt really damn bad.
In the moment, to be like, instead of upset or whatever, he's going out there trying to help out another kid and just trying to lift up his spirit. An opponent in the middle of the game. It's not like after the game, he's like, hey, it's all good. I understand. No, right in the moment, he's trying to help
like
that kid
he's
out.
like, yo, I get it. Like, it's okay. Like,
right.
All
Guan.
good.
You are Guan. What's his name again?
Isaiah Jarvis.
Isaiah Jarvis.
Friend of the pod.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. We love you. You're cool by my book. If you stop by my classroom, I'll give you some candy.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to buy Dennis's book.